Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. It's Cynicalex, and with another update around the corner, it's time to update and put in all the new finishing touches on the next tier list guide. So I went ahead and did that, added in all of the new characters that got upgrades via uniforms, because we didn't actually get any new characters, but these new uniforms are new characters in a lot of ways. So Rogue, Deadpool, the 30th anniversary black and white Deadpool, of course, the new X of Swords Cable, the new Excalibur Gambit, the new X-23, and a couple of other changes that I've made because I've had more time to play around with characters in different game modes and with different builds. So Dormammu and Spider-Woman are also sort of moved around. And, oh, and of course, almost forgot, Nightcrawler. My boy Nightcrawler actually did get a uniform with this February update, but yeah, he's forgotten for multiple reasons. So before we get into the tier list and before I explain the placement of these characters and why they're good and why they're, this and that, standard, PSA with all of these videos and with these types of information. This is just my opinion. So, you're more than welcome to build whatever character you want. There's 238 characters now in the game. You can absolutely have fun with characters on the left side of the list, and you can absolutely have fun with the characters on the right side of the list. It's really up to how you want to play the game. However, this is just how I see it, right? If I'm trying to progress, if I'm trying to do specific things and conquer specific content, or in some cases like all content, this is what I would do, and this is how I would see the characters from, most efficient, most successful, most overpowered to sort of least overpowered and most, in need of a massive tune-up in general. So yeah, but it's just what I think. You're more than welcome to disagree with me and play the game however you like. This is just meant as a rough guide for whoever wants it, needs it, or, likes discussing it. So without further ado, let's jump into it. Rogue and Deadpool at the top, the two speed characters that got uniforms with this update. Rogue has jumped up massively in my opinion. I would argue she's probably now the best speed type in the game because she has become viable for all content. And, having a character that can do stage 99 of World Boss, although it's still a very high bar and a lot of players can't do that consistently, for players who can do it, the list of characters who can do it is just becoming wider and wider and wider. With crafted cards, it's becoming less about the character and more about your account and how it's built. And so because of that, it's not that Deadpool's losing value, it's just that the thing that he's good at is not as rare anymore. So, as more characters come out that can do stage 99, she can put up, minus 60, minus 70, all defense down. You put her with a debuff lead, she crushes stage 99. Ebony, Cull, all these guys. And then on top of that, for the newest content, she can do null. She can hit over 7 million. I've seen 8 million in ABX on the no restriction day. She can do at least 4 or 5 million for me on the speed day, so she does multiple ABX days. She's #1 Rogue, I'm talking about Excalibur Rogue, #1 for Squad Battle Vibranium for speed mutant characters. So she's crushing it in all sorts of content, and then you take her over into PvP and she can compete. Is she the best character in PvP? No. Is she the second best character in PvP? No, but she does really well. She does really, really well, and she does surprisingly well compared to Deadpool. So I'm really impressed with Rogue's performance, and I definitely think she deserves to be named the #1 speed character in the game because of that. Again, depending on what content you value, her value may increase or decrease, but I think she's fantastic. And for any future all-war story content, she's great because she's all elemental, so she doesn't have any sort of penalties against energy or physical damage. Deadpool, on the other hand, he remains here on the top corner, but I almost felt the need to move him down because as hard as the devs seemed to try to rework his kit, giving him iframe ignore, giving him more heal, giving him more guaranteed dodge, they give him all these traits to make him better for PvP, and it's not good enough. He still can't withstand damage, and burst damage from Sentry. He still can't withstand burst damage, and he doesn't know how to solve the puzzle of Silver Surfer. Jean Grey can still kill him, even though he's got the type advantage. And he seems to be as consistent or less than Rogue in PvP. And then you take that and you compare that to what he does compared to her in PvE, and yeah, okay, Deadpool's better than Rogue for regular world bosses because it's the easiest combo in the world. It's just 5 and then 4, sure. But then against Null, he's basically ineffective, completely ineffective. He's also much worse than her in squad battle, so he gets one up there. And then in ABX, he can't do very much. So in a lot of ways, you don't want to just talk about a character in comparison to another character, but the speed class is pretty limited right now on good, high quality, top end characters, and it's really hard to look at Deadpool and not just see discount Rogue, because he basically just does whatever she does worse, except for stage 99 of World Boss because of the all defense down cheese, but that's the only thing. And like I said, that the all defense down cheese with a 99% is great when you don't have good cards, when your cards are terrible. But as you get better cards, as you get a little bit of Pierce, Deadpool's value just starts to plummet because you're like, huh, this character can do 99, and this character, and this character, and this character, and this character, and this character. And so as the list grows, Deadpool sort of withers and shrinks in the corner. Again, he's not a bad character by any means. He didn't get worse with this update, which is the weird thing. Like, he's still there, but it sounds like everything I'm saying about him is negative. No, he just didn't get any better. The thing is, the rest of the speed class didn't get any better either. So he maintains his position purely because the rest of the speed class is kind of weak. So yeah, he did lose. Well, he lost the top position to Rogue herself, but otherwise he remains there because he's still very, very good at what he does. And we have no alternatives in the speed class either. So yeah, that's how it is for Rogue and Deadpool. Moving down to Cable. Really amazing stuff for Cable. Now, I know a lot of you guys may still prefer the Summer Days uniform, especially because you can just cancel the tier 3 skill back into the 5. But this new uniform for Cable, it adds a layer of flexibility. I think it adds more combos. I think it's more fun to play, to be honest. It's a little bit less monotonous of just standing there holding 5. I really like the uniform, and his value has increased a lot because he crushes Null. He's got a great ignore dodge leadership for that. He can do Null with an obelisk, although he can also be flexible and play with an energy or a rage. He's, you know, top dog for at least 2 months of ABX because he has silence and he has burn or paralysis. Either way, he's quite good. I think he uses Cyclops for burn. He uses his dad for burn. But he's basically bumped Doctor Strange down. That's why I bumped Doctor Strange down, because Cable's just better. Cable's better for ABX. He's better for World Boss Null. He's better for regular World Boss. There are still a couple of things that Doctor Strange does better. I'm not saying Doctor Strange is worse, but Cable, again, he's just a newer, better version of that same build type character with limited value in PvP. But yeah, just a fantastic rework for him, a fantastic buff with the tier 3, bumping his stats, giving him an extra skill. It's a bit of a shame that with Summer Days uniform, you don't really use the tier 3. To be honest, I also don't use the tier 3 that much with X of Swords, but that's more of a targeting issue. So if you're wondering why some people are telling you to like cancel the 6th skill really quickly with Cable, it's because when he jumps back and pulls out the huge cannon, he's too far away to cancel into any other skill. It's the exact same problem that the current Scarlet Witch uniform tier 3 skill had before. So her old tier 3 animation. Now, if you notice with Scarlet Witch, her jump is like a hop. She hops back. So you can cancel out of the tier 3 once she creates those 2 giant, like, you know, rocks of rubble from Endgame when she's fighting Thanos. Hopefully the devs will address that. Hopefully the devs will decrease the jump back on Cable so that he's a little bit more flexible, because you want the damage from the tier 3, and he can stack 100% all defense down, so you can crush stage 99 multiple world bosses. I think I did stage 70 Thanos with him today in a couple of minutes. He's amazing for that as well. But right now his tier 3 makes him a little bit trickier to use if you're used to not canceling characters tier 3s. Gambit, another character that got a massive rework. He's really, really good now. He's got a heal to basically address his biggest issue, which was survivability, but he maintains his playstyle, which is run and gun, right? Blast and kite, which is awesome. So it really opens up a whole new way of playing for you. If you're not the best player at dodging mechanics, it's excellent because Gambit allows you to reposition with his 5th skill as he's moving, and you just have to have a bit of quick finger action with canceling 6 and canceling 3, and you'll be rocking. The heal, honestly, is a huge sort of underrated aspect of this uniform. Sure, the damage is good, but the fact that the heal is there to cover up your mistakes, on top of the fact that they didn't change anything about his core gameplay, just makes him so solid. The transcended stats add even more damage to him, and he still plays exactly the same, which means that your old energy build from 2 years ago is still worth it. You don't have to change anything about the build. It's fantastic. So Gambit honestly rocks. I put him a little bit ahead of Doctor Strange. This could go either way, to be honest, but he definitely deserves to be here because he just absolutely rocks content. Moving over to X23, she's surprisingly good for PvP. So a lot of people thought, you know, X23 is just going to be for ABX, and she's good for ABX. She's maybe a little bit worse than Valkyrie. You can do like a swap play, so she has that. But she's surprisingly good for PvP because of the heals and because she just stays in iframes perpetually. Now, obviously, characters who can iframe ignore are going to give you a headache, but otherwise, she can actually do some damage, and she actually hits pretty hard. So that was a bit of a a pleasant surprise for her. Combat types have a really hard time in PvP in this game, so to see her being able to do like Alliance Tournament stuff and Alliance Conquest stuff and Timeline Battle stuff, even on auto, is pretty wild. So if you wanted to give that a shot and you were wondering if it's possible, if it's feasible, it kind of is for X23, which is kind of dope to say. And then again, she's not the best character for PvE content, but she's the best or the second best for ABX. And then she can do decent world boss stuff. Null is kind of where she has a weakness, because as you can see, she relies on debuffs. She needs the all defense down. A bit disappointing that her passive doesn't stack with the leadership, but she can still do world boss because she can still get up to like whatever 85% all defense down, which is enough with the damage spike. She probably did not meet people's expectations, which I think is ultimately going to hurt her stock, but she's definitely not a bad character at all. She definitely deserves to be in the conversation with characters like Mr. Fantastic and Amadeus Cho. Like, she's valuable. She's worthwhile. Do you need her? That's really going to be up to you on a personal level to whether you need this character or not. And then over here, from the characters from this actual Dawn of X update, we have Nightcrawler. Wah, wah, wah. Yeah, Nightcrawler was just a little bit of a miss in my opinion. The devs kind of admitted it by pricing his uniform at only 750 crystals, but I feel like they're better off. I don't know. I go back and forth on this. On the one hand, I'm like, they're better off just not giving him a uniform and not wasting, dev time or whatever. On the other hand, I'm like, you know what? Nightcrawler fans are happy and the other people can just dodge the uniform, so it's not really hurting anybody. So, yeah, would it have been better if Nightcrawler had been better? Sure. Can every character be meta? No. So Nightcrawler might just be a casualty of how mobile games work, which is kind of a bummer and kind of a lame way of explaining that he's not very good. But yeah, he's not very good. He can do content, he can do null, but you're gonna need a stacked account. So take that into consideration and buyer beware. Obviously look up videos about the character if you need more information, because I'm not gonna be able to encapsulate everything that's good and bad about him and give you an exact pinpoint on how good he's gonna be. But if you don't have a stacked account, tread carefully. Now, I want to just cover a few other characters that I moved around a little bit. I already covered why Doctor Strange moved down because of the introduction of both Cable and Gambit. I already talked about why Deadpool moved down. Mystique. So Mystique was in the True Gods category. I moved her down to Godlight. This one's a bit weird. This one might be a bit controversial. I don't think she's actually gotten worse, but every player that I talked to that used to use Mystique a lot and had a rage on her and had her maxed out, they don't really use her anymore. Whether it's ABX with Hawkeye, Bullseye replacing her and pushing her out, or whether it's Squad Battle with Venom, or whether it's Null, where she's basically just a support character and you're not switching to her because other characters do more damage. Where am I supposed to use Mystique? That's kind of the feeling that a lot of players are getting. So I'm just trying to reflect that by bouncing her down. I kind of agree as well, and more players have been suggesting giving her an insight. That's kind of an insult. I don't want to do that just yet, but yeah, I think her stock is being hurt a little bit by the introduction of more better villains and more better speed types, which is kind of natural. Eventually characters are going to get replaced, but yeah, Mystique had a pretty good run. A year is quite a long time in a mobile game. So yeah, again, she's not bad. She's just slowly getting replaced by slightly better characters who do slightly more damage and who are slightly safer to play or more fun to play or both, etc. And then I bolded Quicksilver here because he might actually be better than this. I still have more testing to do. I still have more stuff to figure out. But yeah, he might actually be better than this. So, put a tab on your Quicksilver build here. I'm not saying go out and build him, but he may be better than this. Not like a lot better, not like the best speed type in the game, but he may be better than this. And then last but not least, down here, I made a few more bold changes, but yeah, I tried Dormammu in PvP, was kind of disappointed. He plays really badly on auto, and he's good for PvE content. He's okay, he's decent for null with the judgment and stuff, but yeah, I was pretty disappointed with a revive, with reflect, with healing. He was supposed to be better for PvP, but he's really just not. You need a lot of characters to be banned for him to be good, and at that point, I'm just sitting there thinking like I could use Hulk, I could use Black Widow, there's so many other characters I could use other than Dormammu. So that kind of hurt his stock in my eyes, so I did bounce him down. I also bounced Medusa down. I think Black Bolt is better than her for high-end PvE content. She does have the one-shot capability, but then for like null and stuff like that, Black Bolt does gain a little bit of value on her. So yeah, I think she was a bit overvalued here. Again, not bad. I just sort of overvalued her a little bit at the time. And then Spider-Woman, I moved her up a lot. She was down here under Red Skull. She's good. She's very good. She can do 99 with a Judgment in like a minute and a half. She can do, you know, early stages of Null. She can maybe do stage 1 with an Obelisk, which is quite rare. I don't think her ceiling for Null is that high, and she sort of lacks a good leadership, but yeah, she's not bad, and she has the flexibility of being good for PvP, so she's probably a little bit better than Storm besides the utility. Storm has the utility of having the elemental damage for allies. She needs the awakening icon there. She absolutely needs to be awakened to be good. And then I moved Captain America down to high utility, just not getting any value out of Captain America these days, whether you have the Hydra Cap uniform or the combat uniform. Yeah, honestly, what Cap needs is nothing, because we've had enough of Cap for the last year. But if he were to get anything, it would be a change to his tier 3 skill. That's really what's hurting Captain America's stock right now. His tier 3 skill just doesn't work against Null, right? It either does no damage or it does good damage. It's so inconsistent. It's more inconsistent than his daughter's tier 3. Which is wild. So yeah, he just kind of, he's good, but he just can't hang with the super big boys for the time being. So yeah, that's the new tier list. Let me know what you guys think of the rankings. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Take care.